ben qui get là-dedans. You should be tomorrow now. You can. Yes. Distinguished colleagues, let us look at the votes and proceedings. Page 2345. Page 2345. Page 2346. Page 2347. Page 2348. Page 2349. Page 2350. Page 2351. Distinguished Senator Asukwa.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Asuko Ekpenyong, Senator representing Cross River South. In the absence of any corrections, I move for the adoption of the votes and proceeding as read. Thank you, sir.
Distinguished Senator Garuba Maidoki.
Your Excellency, the Senate President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Garba Musa Maidoki. I rise to second the motion that the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 22nd May 2025 be adopted. I so move.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the votes and proceedings of our last sitting be approved. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The minority leader, of the Senate, distinguished Senator Sani Musa, you have a message to pass through. You may take your seat. Huh? Distinguished colleagues, let me say Happy Children's Day to all of us. We are all parents, and we are also children of various mothers and fathers. So I say Happy Children's Day to all of us. We wish Nigerian children good health, sound mind, and prosperity. May they grow up to see a better Nigeria. Amen. Now, let me also place on record the Senior Senator Nweboyi. We have been battered on the social media, and we even realized that you were, to a large extent, you were very right. The area you were referring to is actually part of the Federal Capital Territory. And so most of the structures you see around the airport environment are actually illegal structures. And because development is yet to get there. So people misunderstood you and thought you were saying they should go and demolish people's villages so that the occupants will be stranded. But that wasn't what you meant. You were insisting that we should try to sanitize the Federal Capital Territory because that area compensation had already been paid, and therefore the people ought not to be there. So just to say that on behalf of the Senate, I apologize to you for the misconception and the misunderstanding. And please bear with Nigerians. That is social media for you. Yes. So, distinguished colleagues, let me just first announce correspondences from Mr. President. With great joy, I announce the signing of the signing into an act of parliament of the Federal University of Agriculture Amendment Bill to allow for the creation of so we join the establishment of the Federal University of Agriculture and Technology at Obiokwa, Orugonam in Akwa Ibom State. So I thank Mr. President for assenting to this bill from the National Assembly and establishing this federal university. And I do know that this will add value to education and technology as Nigeria moves into the era of non-oil sector in terms of revenue generation. So congratulations to the good people of Akwa Ibom State for that. Yes, it's as if you wanted to say congratulations to Senate President. Okay. Clerk, please send this to the Senate. I want to thank Mr. President for the establishment of the Federal University of Agriculture again. This time, establishment of the Federal University of Agriculture and Technology in Okeho. The leader of the Senate, am I right with the pronunciation? Okeho. Federal University of Agriculture and Technology. Okeho in Oyo State. So I congratulate the good people of Okeho and the good people of Oyo State for this milestone, and I do hope that the focus placed on education and agriculture will definitely take Nigeria away from a mono economy and create more opportunities for our children and for related economic activities. So I thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief for assenting to this bill. It's a great honor and privilege, and it also shows the cordial relationship existing between the Parliament and the Executive. Oyo State, congratulations. Please forward it to the Clerk of National Assembly for necessary further actions. Let me also announce that Mr. President has also assented into an act of Parliament the establishment of Federal University of Science and Technology, Cabo. DSP, does this sound familiar? Federal University of Science and Technology, Cabo. That is in Kano State. So again, I thank Mr. President for the honor done to the Parliament and the good people of Kano. And I wish this Federal University of Science and Technology, I wish the good people of Kano and Cabo in particular luck, and I congratulate them and hope that this will further deepen our knowledge in science, and particularly the AI technology as it is today in the world. Congratulations to the good people of Cabo and Kano. Further correspondence from Mr. President. Request for approval of Federal Government 2025-2026 external borrowing rolling plans. I write in reference to the above subject and to submit the attached Federal Government 2025 to 2026 external borrowing rolling plan for consideration and early approval of the National Assembly to ensure prompt implementation of the projects. Distinguished Senate is invited to note that the 2025 to 2026 borrowing plan cut across all sectors with specific emphasis on infrastructure, agriculture, health, education, water supply, growth, security, and employment generation, as well as financial management reforms, amongst others. Total facility of the projects and programs under the borrowing rolling plan is estimated at US $21.5 million. So we have 21,543,647. Senator Sani Musa. Just a minute. Leader of the Senate. So, distinguished colleagues,
Senator Kau.
so, distinguished colleagues, I'll take this again. We are looking at request for approval of the federal government 2025 to 2026 external borrowing rolling plan in the total facility and projects and programs under the borrowing plan of $21.5 billion and Japanese yen 15 billion and grant of 65 million euros respectively, and the summary of the breakdown is attached herewith. The Senate, in the light of the removal of the fuel subsidy and its impact on the national economy, approval is sought for the external borrowing plan. I want to emphasize that the projects and programs included in the borrowing plan were selected based on thorough technical and economic evaluations, as well as their anticipated contributions to the socio-economic development of the country. These initiatives aim to generate employment, promote skill acquisition, foster entrepreneurship, reduce poverty, and enhance food security, all of which will improve the livelihoods of the average Nigerian. The majority of these projects and programs will be implemented across all the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. In light of the significant infrastructure deficit in the country and the vast financial resources needed to address this gap amid declining domestic funding, it has become essential to pursue prudent external borrowing to close the financial shortfall. These funds will primarily be directed towards critical infrastructure projects, including sectors of power, railways, healthcare, amongst others. Given the urgent nature of these needs and the importance of stabilizing the economy, it is crucial to seek the consideration and approval of the distinguished Senate for the 2025 to 2026 external borrowing plan. This will enable the government to fulfill its obligations to the Nigerian people through timely disbursements and effective project implementation. While I look forward to the consideration and approval of the Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President and distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria. The financials are all attached to enable the committee and the Senate do a thorough job. This request for approval of the external borrowing rolling plan is hereby referred to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to revert to the Senate within 2 weeks. Another correspondence from Mr. President. Request for the approval of the National Assembly for the issuance of Federal Government of Nigeria bonds to settle outstanding pension liabilities under the Contributory Pension Scheme. I write to request for the kind approval of the National Assembly for the issuance of Federal Government of Nigeria FGN bonds in the domestic debt market by the Debt Management Office to settle outstanding pension liabilities under the Contributory Pension Scheme as at December 2023 in the sum of 753,983,246,571 naira. The distinguished Senate may wish to note that the Pension Reform Act PRA 2014 provides for the following, amongst others: sections 15(1) and 32, 39, subsection 2 and 3, recognize the accrued pension rights of employees for services rendered before the commencement of the implementation of the PRA 2004 in Nigeria, mandate the Federal Government of Nigeria to set aside 5% of its monthly wage bill into redemption fund to settle such past pension liabilities, and National Pension Commission to determine any shortfall in this regard. Section 15(4) guarantees the right of retirees to pension review in line with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which provides that pensions shall be reviewed every 5 years or whenever salaries are reviewed. Section 5, subsection 2, Section 6, subsection 2 requires Federal Government of Nigeria to fund the shortfall in the Retirement Savings Account RSAs of eligible university professors who are to retire on their full salary in line with extant laws. And Section 82, subsection 2 establishes the Pension Protection Fund and mandates Federal Government of Nigeria to contribute annual subvention of 1% into the fund to part finance minimum pension guarantee for retirees whose RSAs balances had depleted while receiving pension. The Senate is invited to note that the Federal Government of Nigeria has not been complying with the implementation of the above provisions of the PRA 2014 over the years due to the revenue challenges leading to accumulation of pension arrears with the attendant hardships to retirees. To settle the accrued pension liabilities as of December 2023 in the sum of 983,246,571. I will take that again. 757,983,246,571 naira. The government has decided to raise funds through the issuance of Federal Government of Nigeria bonds in the domestic debt market. The proposed issuance of Federal Government of Nigeria bonds to settle outstanding pension liabilities was approved by the Federal Executive Council in its meeting held on February 4, 2025. This request to the National Assembly to approve the issuance of Federal Government of Nigeria bonds by the DMO to settle pension liabilities in the sum of borrowing of 757,983,246,571 naira is pursuant to the provisions of Section 44, subsection 1-2 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, which requires the approval of the National Assembly for all new borrowings by the Federal Government of Nigeria. Further to the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the distinguished President of the Senate, distinguished senators, may find below the purpose and cost-benefit analysis of the proposed borrowing. Since the borrowing is for the settlement of Federal Government of Nigeria pension obligations to retirees, it is an essential investment in human capital development, which is allowed under the FRA, under the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. Benefits. It will enable the Federal Government of Nigeria meet its obligations under the CPS and restore confidence in the pension industry. Positive welfare effect on the retirees, as this will enable them to meet their basic needs, such as payments for routine drugs, rent, school fees of their children, and other family needs. This will improve the health and avoid untimely death of the retirees. It has potential to contribute to productivity and morale of public servants, as this will assure them of the Federal Government of Nigeria's commitment to meeting pension obligations. And 4, settlement of pension liabilities have potential to improve aggregate demand and economic growth because it will enhance liquidity in the economy. Cost implication for public debts. The borrowing will lead to increase in the public debt stock. And 2, it will also increase debt service for the Federal Government of Nigeria. Based on the foregoing, I wish to request for the approval of the Senate for the issuance of the Federal Government of Nigeria bonds in the domestic debt market by the Debt Management Office to settle Federal Government of Nigeria pension obligations under the contributory pension scheme as at December 31st, 2023, in the sum of 757,983,246,571 naira only. While I look forward to the timely consideration and approval of the Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President and distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A specimen of the approval required for this purpose is also attached. This is referred to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to also revert to the Senate within 2 weeks. Another correspondence from Mr. President. Distinguished Senator Kaila, Distinguished Senator Sitangu, if you people are back from your factional meeting, factional neck meeting, you can take your seat so you listen to these important announcements. Welcome.
No faction.
Distinguished Senator Ningi, I did not hear you, but I heard Distinguished Senator Dan Kwambo, who said I should repeat it because it's the truth. Dan Kwambo, that's what you said. You said you can say that again. So I will not say that you have factions. I will just say that again. So, distinguished colleagues, request for the approval of the National Assembly for establishment of foreign currency denominated issuance program in the domestic debt market. Please listen. Request for the approval of the National Assembly for establishment of foreign currency denominated issuance program in the domestic debt market. I write to request the kind approval of the National Assembly for capital raising of up to USD $2 billion in the domestic debt market towards the implementation of the Presidential Executive Order on Foreign Currency Denominated Financial Instruments, that is Local Issuance Program, and Related Matters Order 2023, dated October 19, 2023. Order number 16 of 2023 by the Debt Management Office DMO. Please see Annexure 1 for the Presidential Executive Order. The distinguished Senate may wish to note that this request is pursuant to the provisions of Section 44, subsections 1 and 2 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, which requires the approval of the National Assembly for all new borrowings, and Section 1, subsection 7 of the Presidential Executive Order that requires the National Assembly to appropriate the proceeds of the capital raising. Further to the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, which defines the use of proceeds of all borrowings and requires cost-benefit analysis of capital raising, please find below. A. Use of proceeds. As stated in the Presidential Executive Order, the proceeds of the debt instrument and its accretion shall be ring-fenced and invested in critical sectors to be approved by the President on the recommendation of the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, subject to appropriation of the National Assembly. The Minister, in making his recommendation, shall have regard to a sector's capacity to accelerate economic growth, earn foreign exchange, drive infrastructure development, create jobs, and yield reasonable returns on investment. Benefits 2. Investors will have the opportunity to earn reasonable income on their US dollar funds while allowing the federal government to channel the funds to productive uses in the economy. These are very critical things. It is a viable fiscal strategy with potential to boost accretion to reserves and promote exchange rate stability. It will help diversify the sources of funding for the federal government of Nigeria and deepen the investor base for federal government of Nigeria securities. And it will increase the range of products in the local financial market and enable investors to diversify their portfolios. C. Cost implications for public debt. The capital raising will lead to increase in the public debt stock and will also increase debt service costs. Based on the foregoing, I wish to request for approval of the Senate for capital raising of up to USD 2 billion through the establishment of a foreign currency denominated financial instrument issuance program in the domestic debt market by the Debt Management Office, in furtherance of the implementation of the Presidential Executive Order on foreign currency denominated financial instruments local issuance program and related matters order 2023, dated October 19, 2023. While I look forward to the constitution and timely approval of the Senate, please accept, distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Commander in Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria, with annexures. Again, this is referred to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to revert to the Senate in 2 weeks. Next meeting of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, will hold today by 2 p.m. It will be at, I don't know where it has been opened. It will be at Legacy House. All the members are encouraged to attend. This is signed by the minority leader, Senator Nengie. I haven't said anything. Let me distinguished colleagues. Last Saturday, 24th day of May, 2025, was the birthday of Senator Anthony Yaro Siako. On behalf of the Senate, I want to wish the very distinguished brother a very happy birthday, long life, prosperity, and many more years of service to his fatherland. Congratulations. Let me acknowledge the presence of staff and students of Innocent Achievers School, Masala, in Karo local government area of Nasarawa State, who are in the gallery to observe the Senate proceeding. I want to wish you fruitful observations and journey mercies back to your college. May God be with all of you. Happy Children's Day. You may be seated. Let me acknowledge the presence of staff and students of Farmer Islamic International School, Kwarimpa, in Abuja, who are in the gallery to observe the Senate proceedings of today. I welcome you. I wish you fruitful observations and journey mercies. May Allah bless you, protect you, and take you back to your respective schools. Please be seated. Let me also acknowledge the presence of staff and students of Fulbright Kiddies International School in Katampe, in Abuja, who are also in the gallery to observe today's proceedings. I welcome you, and I pray that Almighty God will take you back to your school safely while guiding you as you grow to become leaders of this nation in future. You may be seated. Yes.
Senator Wadada, take your seat.
Point of order.
Thank you, Mr. President, for recognizing me. I'm coming under order 42. With your permission, I seek your indulgence that I don't have to go into read that order because of.
DSP, please advise distinguished Senator Abamoro to stop disturbing Labour Party Senator Iretiken Gibe. She's not joining you. She's not joining you, so please stop disturbing her. Is he of the SDP? SDP. Let him disturb. DSP.
Chairman, Public Accounts, take your seat.
It's okay.
Chairman, Still Development. Chairman, Judiciary.
Yes, any
Minority
petition?
Leader.
Any petition? Any petition? No petition. No, just a minute.
Order.
Okay, so DSP.
Mr. President, I'm coming under order 42, Barrow Jabrin Kano North. Mr. President, I want to crave your indulgence and the indulgence of my colleagues that I do not need to read the order because we are all attuned, we are all conversant with this order. I therefore go straight to express what I want to say in respect to this order. Mr. President, you've just read the fact that the President gave assents to 3 bills establishing 3 higher institutions in this country, and one is located at Kabo in Kano State. Mr. President, I feel I need to lend my voice to what you said earlier, your commendation of Mr. President for establishing these institutions. I want to lend my voice to that to commend Mr. President as well for these assents for the establishment of these 3 institutions. This has further demonstrated the willingness of Mr. President to clearly intervene in the development of our youth. And how do you develop the youth of this country? It's through providing institutions such as these in order to get them, developed in terms of education, in terms of skills, in order for them to be able to be useful to themselves in their adulthood and also be useful to this nation. And these actions of Mr. President is a replica of what the founding fathers of this nation did in the earlier stage of the formation of this country, likes of Ahmed Bello Sardauna, of Afemi Awolowo, Zik of Africa. They established the Ahmed Bello University, University of Nigeria, UI, University of Ibadan, University of Nigeria, and so on and so forth. And they were able to train the youth of those time. And they later became, the strength of this country because they were the one that drove the development of this country. And up to now, these institutions are still relevant in the, area of developing the youth of this country. So Mr. President is doing this in a larger scale, because this institution will not only serve the generations of our youth of today, but the future generation of this country is living a legacy, a lifelong legacy, a legacy that will not have an end. So I commend Mr. President for doing this, in particular, what he's doing in the northwestern part of this country. As we speak, he has, established several institutions because the northwest has the highest population of youth in this country. And he knows this quite okay, and that's why he has decided to intervene directly in providing institutions that will cater for the use of the Northwest. Recently, he established one in Kaduna, in the southern Kaduna area, one at Zamfara, and so many, so on and so forth. So we thank Mr. President for what he's doing to develop the use of this country, and the use, and of course, the parents are grateful to what he's doing, particularly from our end in the Northwest. We thank Mr. President. There's nothing that he can do better than what he's doing for us now. This is a fact. Nobody has ever done this to us like what he's doing right now. No, we have never experienced this. To have this institution established to take care of our youth, the youth are the foundation of every society. They are the foundation of this country. And giving out this kind of schools to take care of them is the best thing that can be done to the future of this country, to the present, situation we have, so that our youth can be further, can acquire the necessary educational skills to be useful to themselves and to the entire society. Thank you, Mr. President, for facilitating all these things that have been done. We thank everyone here, our colleagues, for your cooperation, for working, the synergy we're having with the executive government, and this is what's creating this. So we should continue to cooperate with the government. We should continue to work hand in hand with the president, so that good things like this will continue to be provided for our people. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, DSP, I share in your eulogy and I share in your appreciation of the president and all the good things you have said. We have never had a president who believes so much in education and who is working so closely with the National Assembly that is able to express most of our decisions by pending his signature and establishing these institutions. Nigeria, in spite of all, before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, millions of Nigerian children could not have placements in tertiary institutions. That is why, if you look at the numbers so far, he has established more than 35 federal universities and tertiary institutions. And I think it's important to note that, yes, indeed, he believes strongly in opening the doors of schools in order to close the doors of prisons. So we appreciate Mr. President. Just before the point of order, I was thinking, Senator Kingibe, today is Children's Day. You don't want to say anything because we're about to pass that stage.
That's what I was talking to you about.
No. Yes. Senator Plank, you have been raising your hand, yes?
President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly, distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Dicket Plank. I represent the good people of Plateau Central. My point of order is on order 41 and 51. If it pleases our dear President of the Senate, he would permit me to read the order, although I have read it earlier. Yes, sir.
We are already on personal explanation.
Personal explanation.
Just give us the summary of what you have in mind.
Okay, sir. President of the Senate and my dear colleagues, about 2 weeks ago, I brought a point of order on the insecurity and the attack that took place on the plateau. My point of order was sponsored, or is still sponsored, by the 3 senators from Plateau, on the attacks and killings that took place on the plateau about 3 weeks ago, and my point of order was stood down. I have to bring it back today because about what is here is that all the issues that have been taking place on the plateau, we desire that there should be another eye of watching it from the legislative point of view.
Oh, is this
Yes, sir.
your motion has actually been listed.
Yeah, there is, sir.
It's listed, so you can step it down.
Is listed?
It's listed, yes.
What does that mean?
It's listed. No.
Okay, to.
Senator
It's not
Kawu. Senator Kawu. It was earlier listed last week. We stepped it down, so definitely you come up tomorrow for you to move.
Thank you.
It's coming as a substantive motion again tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. President, and my distinguished and honorable colleagues. I remain Suleiman Abrahaman Kau Sumaila, representing Kano South Senatorial District. Mr. President, it's a matter of urgent public importance. I am coming under Order 41, and 51. Mr. President,
I may wish to approach the chair. It's me, Senator Kingibe.
Distinguished Senate President, my distinguished colleagues, I would like to draw the attention of the Senate that today is Children's Day, International Children's Day, and I would like the Senate to note that this Children's Day is dedicated to raising awareness of issues that affect the Nigerian child and reaffirming national commitments to the protection, education, and development of children. Aware that the future of any nation lies in the hands of its children and that their total well-being, including physical, mental, educational, emotional, and economic welfare must be prioritized through proactive legislation, strategic investment, and inclusive policy implementation. Further aware that education remains the most powerful tool to break the cycles of poverty, inequality, and insecurity, and that the provision of quality, accessible, and inclusive education combined with early skills development equips children with the competencies needed to thrive in a competitive and evolving global landscape. Disturbed that as of 2024, Nigeria still has the highest number of out-of-school children in the world, estimated at 10 million, with many more suffering from inadequate infrastructure, poor learning environments, and lack of exposure to vocational, digital, and life skills. Worried that the continued neglect of Nigerians' children education and development will perpetuate national challenges such as youth unemployment, radicalization, gender-based exclusion, and intergenerational poverty. The Senate should therefore please resolve to call on the Federal Ministry of Education in partnership with state ministries of education and the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, to strengthen efforts towards...
Distinguished Senator.
Yes, sir.
Just 1 minute. Distinguished Senator Ahmed Lawan.
Sorry, Mr. President, I was only raising my hand to second what she was presenting.
So please,
I just want to just give a few prayers, sir.
No, go on. I thought he was trying to guide you.
Oh, no.
But he is saying that he wants to support whatever you are doing.
Okay, thank you.
So go ahead.
Thank you. You beg to strengthen efforts towards ensuring free, compulsory, and quality education for all Nigerian children.
But you came under Order 42, right?
I came under personal explanation, sir.
Under Order
42.
Go on. Go on.
In line with Child Rights Act and Sustainable Development Goal 4, urge the federal government to introduce and implement National Skills for Children initiative targeting basic ICT literacy, craft entrepreneurship, creative arts and problem-solving skills starting from primary schools. Mandate the committees on basic education, youth development and legislative compliance to carry out a comprehensive assessment of the status of child education and development initiatives across the country and report to this distinguished House with actionable recommendations. Encourage all 36 states, governments and the FCT to mark this Children's Day with concrete policy pronouncements and programmatic actions, commissioning of schools, introduction of child mentorship programs, and improvement of child health and feeding programs. Urge the Ministry of Finance and Budget Planning to prioritize increased budgetary allocation for child education, skills development, and programs in 2026 national budget cycles. I so submit you, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Ahmed Lawan.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Everything that is in it.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan. I represent Yobe North Senatorial District. Thank you for the privilege, Mr. President. I rise to second the motion appropriately and properly presented by our colleague, distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe of the FCT. Mr. President, let me start by giving an advice that this Senate and indeed the National Assembly creates a special event, truly special, to engage the Nigerian youth, Nigerian children on this day every year. Mr. President, you recall in our discussion this morning, in my discussion with you, in fact, you mooted the idea. I think it will go a long way to have that opportunity for the Nigerian child to understand what democracy is, particularly what we do in the National Assembly. There will be the foot soldiers of the parliament as well as democracy. Distinguished colleagues, we have almost 35 to 30 million children out of school. You consider the basic aspect of education, you have more than 10 to 11 million. And of course, those who are supposed to cross over to SS1 and have failed to do so. And there are those who fail within SS1, SS2 and SS3, and those who fail to cross over to tertiary institutions. These are our resources for tomorrow's development, Mr. President. It is on this note, I want to commend Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for giving special priority to our children, education, and of course, livelihood. But we need to do more. We need to appropriate more for education, especially at the basic level. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, We have the basic education law, but how far has it been implemented? Not very far, Mr. President. I also feel that today's insecurity is largely because that aspect of our life, education, giving the child and of course the youth the appropriate training and the support for that person to grow. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I believe that the time is ripe for us to work with the executive arm of government who also think like we do to work for the Nigerian child to have something fundamental, because at the basic level, Mr. President, I dare say that education is a right. It's a human right at that age. And therefore, we must do everything possible to ensure that we impact very positively on the lives of the Nigerian child. Thank you very much for the privilege.
Yes, Distinguished Senator Abamoro.
Mr. President, I under Order 42 to say that the point of order that was raised earlier by distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe was Order 42 and not subject to debate.
Yes, it's noted. The Leader of the Senate. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, to bring the children.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I stand to move for suspension of the relevant provisions of Order 12 of our rules on floor privileges to enable us admit strangers into this hallowed chamber. The strangers, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, will be representatives of our school children who are here in commemoration of the Children's Day, which is being marked globally. Mr. President, I so move.
Minority Leader. Yeah.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion that we suspend the relevant sections of our rules to admit strangers into the chambers. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we do suspend relevant sections of our rules to allow strangers to approach the chambers. Those in support of the motion as moved say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So the strangers may now proceed into the chambers. While the strangers are coming, may I recognize distinguished Senator Kawu? Distinguished Senator Kawu? Distinguished Senator Kawu Ishmaila, you may proceed to say something on personal explanation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, my dear distinguished and respected colleagues. I am Suleiman Abdurrahman Kawu Ismaila, representing Kano South Senatorial District from Kano. Mr. President, I am coming under Order 42, personal explanation. So, personal explanation. By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there will be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, or may debate arise upon the explanation. The term of a proposed statement shall be submitted in detail to the President of the Senate.
No, just proceed, because I believe what you want to say will assist our children. So please proceed.
Okay, Mr. President, my dear colleagues, as I said before, I am coming under Order 42, personal explanation, just to commemorate with this very important and historic day, Nigerian Children's Day. Mr. President, it is an ex-force tagged as inside Abuja's thriving illegal drug empire, a Trust TV undercover investigation, a call for holistic investigation, which I believe it is in line with what we are doing today to save our children, to save their future, to become the good leaders of tomorrow. Note that the recent undercover investigation by Trust TV, aired via Shred on YouTube, have exposed a thriving illegal drug empire operating with alarming boldness in the heart of Abuja. The report revealed how narcotics, including marijuana, tramadol, codeine, cocaine, and the deadly synthetic drug as coded as ICE, are often traded near key government and security installation. Further note that, shockingly, the investigation uncovered deep-rooted corruption, with the allegations that law enforcement officials not only accept bribe from drug dealers, but also resell confiscated drugs back into the black market. These activities contribute to Nigerian growing drug abuse crisis, with 14.4% of youth reportedly involved in illicit drugs. Aware that the report identified notorious hotspots such as Torabola Hill, Mabushi, and Gwagwalada Fak, raising urgent question about the complicity of security agencies and the need for comprehensive, independent investigation to dismantle this criminal network, restore public trust, and safeguard national security. Further aware that operative documented how cartels use coded order and disguised deliveries of level as BIP or OP suppliers to distribute narcotics directly to residents. Even more alarming, the investigation reveals that some corrupt officials facilitate this operation by providing access permit. Recognize that the Senate remain vigilant and unwavering in its legislative and oversight roles to combat the menace of drug abuse. A healthy, secure, and productive society depends on how that data trafficking and protect our youth. We cannot afford complacency. Now it is a time for bold and decisive action. Observe that the syndicate reportedly employ compromised POS operators and other petty business within this estate to process payment discreetly, while IT staff in law enforcement agencies are bribed to alter Caesar records, explaining why rates frequently fail despite actionable intelligence. Worried that the devastating effects of drug abuse in Nigeria have reached alarming proportions, threatening the very fabric of our society. Proliferation of dangerous substances like tramadol, cocaine, and the deadly synthetic drugs, ICE, has created a public health emergency with countless youth suffering from addiction, mental health disorder, and premature death. Further worried that families are being torn apart as young Nigerians drop out of school, lose employment opportunity, and turn to crime to sustain their habit. This economic toll is equally severe, with productivity losses and rising healthcare costs straining an already burdened system. That even more disturbing is the normalization of drugs used in many communities, where substances that should be destroying lives are instead becoming part of social gathering and use culture. Further disturbs that consequences extend beyond individual users, corroding national security and governance. As drug cartel now bolder, they infiltrate law enforcement and the government institution, creating a vicious cycle of corruption that undermine the rule of law. Concerns that the link between the drug abuse and violent crime, including army robbery, kidnapping, terrorism, has become undeniable, with many criminals operating under the influence of the substance. Furthermore, Nigeria's international reputation so far as the country became increasingly associated with drug trafficking. Further concerns that without urgent decisive action, we risk losing an entire generation to this epidemic, while allowing criminal network to further entrench their power. The time for complacency has passed. This crisis demands immediate intervention at all levels of society and government. Mr. President, my dear distinguished colleagues, my prayer is to commend Trust TV for its courageous and infactible investigative journalism that uncovers the alarming drug trade in Nigeria. This vital expose been a wake-up call and a valuable tool for government action. It is commendable contribution toward building a healthier, safer, and free society. Establish a special committee to investigate all findings from the undercover report. This committee must audit security agencies, track drug seizure, and recommend prosecution. Its proceedings should be transparent, yet protect whistleblowers. Facilitate security sector reform to facilitate routine drug tests and frequent rotation for officers in higher risk units like airport and borders. Implement tamper-proof digital system to log all drug seizure and arrest. Hold the commanders accountable for misconduct within their unit. Launch community surveillance program to train local task force in drug hotspot and gather intelligence via secure hotlines and apps. Reward verified tips and host monthly meeting between resident and security agencies. Empower communities to report corruption. Carry out law audit of anti-drug legislation to classify large-scale trafficking as terrorism with harsher penalties for offenders. Allow seizure of assets, including pension, from convicted officer. Fast-track court should be handle drug-related cases. Declare national synthetic drug emergency to prioritize combating IS and similar drugs through specialized rehab center and school-based prevention program, restrict chemical import and collaborate with Interpol to disrupt supply chain, allocate emergency funding for public awareness campaign. The President of the Senate and of course the Senate to convene a national summit on drugs finance. This summit will bring together key stakeholders to examine the crisis, share insight, and develop a practical, patch-rich recommendation to combat drug abuse and trafficking in Nigeria. Recommend that compulsory drug testing be instituted for all individuals seeking elective or appointed public office as prerequisite for eligibility. Similarly, regulatory agencies should mandate and impose routine drugs testing within the private sectors to ensure a drug-free working workforce and promote national health and productivity. Mr. President, my dear distinguished colleagues, I so submit my observation and of course my position in regard with what one of the reputable paper in Nigeria exposed, and it is very common in our platforms and in other media. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, my distinguished colleagues.
Let me thank distinguished Senator Kawu. You may wish to submit what you just read for us to include in our votes and proceedings. And use this opportunity, distinguished colleagues.
I have already given it to our Sergeant at Home.
You've done that. You've given it to the...
It is there. They can start sharing it.
Okay.
We have it, sir.
You have it. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So, distinguished colleagues, we have, I want to say Happy Children's Day. So, what Senator Kawu was speaking about had to do with the expose by Daily Trust talking about undercover investigations on the proliferation of drugs and how our children are being influenced by illicit drugs and all sorts of things on how drugs enter into the market and destroy lives, and the fact that it has increased crime all over the country. So I welcome our children. We decided to bring in our children who were outside trying to shake hands with distinguished senators to celebrate Children's Day with us, and we said they should come inside the chambers. So you are all welcome. So today you are all junior senators. Welcome to the chambers, the Senate chambers of the National Assembly. And it's a very rare occasion for us to admit strangers. But we decided to bring you as our children so that you can witness what your daddies do when they leave their houses. So outside the advice given by distinguished Senator Kawu that you must grow up and shun drugs so that it will not take over your life and lead you astray and then put you in the path of collision with law enforcement agents, because drug tends to influence not just children alone but adults negatively, and of course can lead you into crime. So we want you, as you are growing up on this Children's Day, to note that when you enter the Senate, you listen to a motion that was on drug abuse and the need to prevent the spread of drugs all over. Our prayer is that you grow up drug-free. Our prayer is that you will not engage in drug abuse. Our prayer is that you will not relate with other children who are into vices such as drugs, so that it will not lead you into criminality and will cut short your lives. So we want you to grow up to become great leaders of tomorrow. That is our prayer for you. Can you all shout amen? So on that note, I want to welcome our honorable children on behalf of all Nigerian children and to congratulate you on this Children's Day, our esteemed children who are now our esteemed guests, and some of the distinguished family members and teachers. My great pleasure to represent the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the occasion of this Children's Day, May 27th, 2025. Today we gather to celebrate the vibrant energy, boundless potential, and innocent wonders of our children. As leaders, we recognize the importance of nurturing and protecting the future of our great nation, the dreams and aspirations and innovative spirits that reside within each and every one of you. The Senate salutes the residents of our children across the nation. We salute your creativity. We salute your enthusiasm for life. We acknowledge the remarkable achievements of Nigerian children who have excelled in various fields, from academics to sports, to the field of arts and beyond. As we celebrate you today, we also commit you to God Almighty. We commit ourselves to creating the enabling environment that will support your growth, support your education, and support your well-being. We pledge to prioritize policies and programs that protect your rights, that will promote your welfare, and unlock the potentials within you. Already, the Senate of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is already pro-people, pro-Nigerians. And this time around, on a day like this, we dare to say pro-children of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So to our young heroes and heroines, we urge you to dream big, work hard, and never give up on your aspirations. Your generation is the future of our nation, and we have no doubt that you will shape Nigeria into a brighter, more prosperous, and more equitable society. On this special day, we wish you joy, happiness, and love. We welcome you to sit here and dream to come here when you become an adult. May your smiles be wider when you leave this chamber, your laughter be contagious, and your dreams be limitless. We are proud of you, our children, and we stand committed to supporting you every step of the way as you grow up. Happy Children's Day, dear Nigerians. May your future be bright, and may your potentials, as I said earlier, remain limitless. And may Almighty Allah protect you in your going out and your coming in, and protect you in your schools and at home, and no harm will come near you. Can we all shout amen? Amen. Congratulations.
Press the microphone. Okay, who makes first? Yeah. Who makes first? You do?
Oh yeah, introduce yourself.
And you make your speeches. Just talk.
No, just say the Senate President, distinguished senators. Introduce us as Senate President, distinguished senators. Understand?
So we'll say it again.
Say Senate President. Sir. seated. Could you
Mr. Senate President, distinguished senators, appreciation to the Senate President.
So continue.
We, the Nigerian children, wish to express our profound gratitude to the uncommon President of the Senate of the National Assembly, His Excellency, most distinguished Senator Dr. Godswill Obot Akpabio, GCON, for your fatherly disposition and your uncommon benevolence towards the occasion of this year's Children's Day celebration. A day is set aside for us Nigerian children to be appreciated. Give us platform to see and experience the world by lifting us high. For us to feel loved, appreciated, cared for, protected, and in order for us to learn and aspire to any height you can imagine without limitations and boundaries. Your Excellency, your uncommon vision of policy and programs, especially as the Governor of Akwa Ibom, where you abolish child labour and introduce compulsory and free education for every Akwa Ibom child, and even proclaiming that any parent or guardian who gives their child or ward out for child labour than enrolling them into school shall be prosecuted, is a testament of high premium you place on nurturing and harnessing the full potential of our children. When we are given the wings to fly, by creating the enabling, conducive and resource environment for us to envision possibilities, intellectually engage opportunities and passionately aspiring and reaching for the skies. We, the Nigerian children, wish to thank Your Excellency most sincerely for providing the resources and veiling us the opportunity to participate with my fellow uncommon children to celebrate this year's Children's Day Fun Fair celebration in the National Assembly complex. Observation of plenary sessions in both chambers, tours of library and rows of reading and libraries in children's development and academic or fun games and plays. We, the Nigerian children, have no doubt that just as Your Excellency, as Governor, provided landmark facilities such as the e-library, ICT Center, International Stadium, all the best in Africa, so do we know that subsequent edition of this occasion will witness your uncommon transformation. On behalf of all the participating schools, I say a big thank you to Your Excellency, the uncommon President of the Senate. My name is Chinagaram Aniam. The name of my school is Katrina International Academy, and it's been located at this Alaji Dawaki, Abuja. Thank you.
Your Excellency, my name is Shizara Mnadozie. I am a student of Our Lady of Fatima Sisters Academy, Dakibi Jabi. As Jim Ho once said, all work without play makes Jack a dull boy. As I present this balloon to you, to remind you this day to find time to play like us within 24 hours. Sir, anytime you look at this balloon, to remember the children of Nigeria and how we always play. Just ease and recreate yourself. Happy Children's Day, Your Excellency.
Next.
Good afternoon, members of the National Assembly, esteemed dignitaries, and most importantly, the fantastic kids gathered here today. My name is Noor Lawal Daura. I am a student of Lead British International School. My distinguished, uncommon Senate President, we, the children of Nigeria, have recognized the effort and work that you have put into creating the laws that will help in protecting our rights. And we, sir, are forever grateful for the work that you have done. On behalf of this special day, we present to you this book and pen in hopes that you continue writing down the laws that will help in the protection of our rights. On a lighter note, you have the mandate of we the children to fill up this book and add even more. Thank you.
So the three can join. Come this side. You be at the center. No, the walk through. Yes. Come and join.
They'll walk through. Where will you? Okay.
Okay.
Come down.
She can't.
Okay, they'll walk
So
through
no
here.
need. I thought they'll do a group photograph.
How did they do a group photo? There are too plenty.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So we'll bring this up. They walk past. Yes, they check the cap. Let them come. Start coming. That order. Hey, this way. So this way.
I used to be Man U, but I don't know what is happening to them. They were defeated. What is your own? Oh, Real Madrid. They are fantastic. That's good. You know, coincidentally, my son is also. Distinguished Senator Ireti Ngibe.
Distinguished colleagues, Senate President and my distinguished colleagues, I would like to thank this distinguished House for taking the time to receive these children. The visit to the Red Chamber means a lot to them, and I'm grateful and I commend you all for taking the time to see them, hear them out, and shake their hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing the children to the chambers. I believe it will encourage them to grow up tomorrow, to aspire to be senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I wish all Nigerian children a very happy Children's Day, and I thank distinguished Senator Ireti Ngibe and all the kids that came. But some of them came from physically challenged schools, so you will see me privately so that we can make some donation to them to commemorate today after this. So congratulations to all the distinguished senators for your patience and for seeing our children in chambers. Distinguished Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President, and very distinguished colleagues. First, I rise to move that the suspended provisions of Order 2 be now restored for us to continue with our proceedings for the day. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that our rules be restored to enable the Senate to continue plenary. I so second.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that we do restore the sanctity of the chambers after the departure of our guests. Those in support of the motion as moved and seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of His Excellency, distinguished Senator Barau Jibrin, on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2025 SB 804. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2025 SB 804 first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill SB 804 first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Adaramodu Adeyemi Raphael on the Artificial Intelligence Academy Omo Ekiti State Establishment Bill 2025 SB 763. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Artificial Intelligence Academy Amo Ekiti State Establishment Bill 2025 SB 763 first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Artificial Intelligence Academy Omo Ekiti State Establishment Bill 2025 SB 763 first reading taken. Tamongono, proceed. The next item.
Is Federal Universities of Technology Amendment Bill 2025 SB 836. I move that it should be read the first time.
Yes, the clerk of the point of order.
If you permit me, I'll read as follows. Order 1B, in all cases not provided for in this standing order or by sectional or other orders or practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. Mr. President, I had informed you earlier that the National Executive Council meeting of the People's Democratic Party will be holding by 2 o'clock. And in honor to our children for their day, we elected, on your advice or instruction, to stay behind. Mr. President, as I'm talking to you now, it's exactly 2 o'clock, and I ask your indulgence and the concurrence of my colleagues that we suspend plenary for now to enable members to attend the next meeting. Mr. President, I so submit.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I listened to the minority leader, and I think it's only fair for me to agree with him. However, relying on the same order 1B of our rule that he cited, may I most respectfully request, and with the understanding of the minority leader as well, that we take as the first, while suspending every other thing, that we take as the first and the only order of the day what is listed here as the fourth order of the day, which is the presentation and adoption of the conference committee report on the tax reform bills 2025 as listed on the order paper. It is important we do this today so that we'll be able to pass our votes and proceedings on this by tomorrow. Other than that, Mr. President, I am in line and on the same page with the distinguished minority leader. Thank you.
Yes, dear colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we suspend every item on the order paper and take only one item, which is the bill on the tax reforms, to enable our colleagues in the PDP to proceed to their head office for their next meeting. Just one item, then we close so that you can proceed on your next item. Those in support that this be done say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So the minority leader, we just take only one item, then we close. Yes, leader. Leader, the report is even not available. The report is not available. If the report is not available, you may move for us to the close. The conference committee report.
So, Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first and only order of the day is the presentation and adoption of the conference committee report on the tax reform bills 2025 as listed on the order paper. Distinguished senators will recall that the Senate and the House of Representatives passed different versions of the tax reform bills 2025. The conference committee of both chambers have met and harmonized the differences in accordance with Senate Standing Order 86. Mr. President, with your permission, I move the motion for the Senate to receive and adopt the conference report. I so move.
Well, distinguished Senator Sani Musa, you may wish to let us know which one is, what was the recommendation from the House of Representatives, what was the recommendation from the Senate, and what was accepted. Just run through it very quickly so that we can proceed. We can give
Thank
them
you,
chance to
Mr.
move.
President. My distinguished colleagues, my name is Mohammed Sani Musa. I hereby stand to present. Oh, okay. I stand that the Senate do receive and adopt the conference committee report on the tax reform bills as follows. Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill 2025 SB 583, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill 2025 SB 584, Nigerian Tax Administration Bill 2025 SB 585, and Nigerian Tax Bill 2025 SB 586. I so move.
Yes, distinguished Senator Benga Daniels.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Otunba Benga Daniel, and I wish to dutifully second the motion.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we do receive this conference report. Those in support that the conference report be laid before us say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished Senator Sani Musa, you may proceed to lay your report.
With the red light switch off.
Leader of the Senate.
Resume your seats. Resume your seats. Senator Mustafa Salu, Chairman Agri Production, resume your seat. Chairman Senate Services, resume your seat. Chairman Finance, resume your seat. Chairman Appropriation, resume your seat.
What about minority?
Chairman, yes.
Minority leader. Should sit.
Chairman Intergovernmental.
I'm minority leader now. I'm standing.
Minority leaders, take your seat. Chairman National Planning, take your seat.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance has held some quick discussions with the leadership of the Senate on both sides of the aisle, and we have agreed that even though he had laid the report of the conference committee of both chambers, that the consideration and adoption be stepped down to the next legislative day to allow some further legislative action on the report. And in view of that, Mr. President, let me say at this point, I now totally defer to the minority leader and call on all our colleagues to please accede to his request that the Senate be now adjourned to enable our colleagues elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party to proceed for their next meeting. And I won't be surprised if the part of the essence of the meeting is for them to also endorse the leadership of this country, under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But whatever it is, we wish them good luck. I move that we now adjourn till tomorrow, Wednesday, the 28th day of May 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt. I so move.
The minority leader.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, while I rise to second the motion for adjournment,
So the motion has been
I want to
seconded.
place it on record that the next meeting of PDP will not do any democratic aberration. And so, thank you. I so second.
Well, the distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we do adjourn today's sitting to enable our colleagues proceed to their next meeting to consider a lot of issues of national importance, including but not limited to the affirmation of the good leadership that is currently enveloping the entire nation. That is the People's Democratic Party. Please use the right faction when you are taking that decision. Those in support that we do adjourn till tomorrow at 11 a.m. say aye. And those against say nay. What will I say? They did. Therefore, the Senate is accordingly adjourned to Wednesday, 28th May 2025 at 11 a.m. But before then, the ad hoc committee on the emergency rule in Rivers said will meet today at 2:30 p.m. The ad hoc committee on emergency rule will be meeting in the office of the leader of the Senate at 2:30 p.m. today to consider matters of Rivers State importance and national issues. So accordingly, the Senate is hereby adjourned with your affirmation to Wednesday, the 28th day of May, 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt.